again. So very quickly, let me go over to the beginning daily charts. So for like weeks since 2010, USDT has been buying. On the daily time frame, it doesn't really shift, right? So let me take out all this analysis so we can make a fresh one. So what are we seeing here? Let's go and mark our break of structure, previous low, right? And the protected high. And what could we use as our inducements? Well, on the 4-hour time frame, price made this impulsive sale, right? Here we had what? Okay, let's go. Still on the 4-hour time frame, this was where price made the major shift. So this is a major shift on the higher time frame, right? So now let's deal with everything on this side, since we know price has made a major shift. Sorry about my voice, I'm just waking up. Well, I've been obsessed with the charts. So let's see what happens in this zone here. I'm going to go lower, like 2-hour time frame. Then start from here. So the last time I was live, I gave this analysis for a sell opportunity right here, but price did not trigger us, and I figured that it did not tap into my zone. This was where I planned to sell, but this is on my Telegram channel. You can verify. Just search for US30. We're going to take a shot from here. Somewhere around here, but price did not tap into our zone because of what? But anyways, that was then, bro. Moved on. So price made this shift here on the 2-hour time frame, making this impulsive sale, right? Now what happened? This is an indication. When we see massive sale like this is an indication that price will likely continue going down, right? So here we had the what? After this sale, we had a rally upward. We could call this our consolidation zone. Everything here, we could call it our consolidation zone, right? And we could call this our manipulation. This little trade outside the zone, we could call this our manipulation. So let me just go ahead and highlight that. So this candle opened here, right? All of them were like equals. So this was our liquidity. I'm just going to use that as our liquidity again. From what I can see, price did what? Came back into this zone and sell. So this order block was never mitigated, but price came down to that place, like rallied back up afterward breaking structure. So price broke structure, came back into what? A POI and did what? Sell. So this would have been like a perfect place to take a short. A very beautiful place to take a short trade, targeting where a new what flow. It's like 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours. But unfortunately, we did not see these calls. I made a mistake. When price did this to me, when price didn't tap on my zone, I felt very bad, and then I left the chat. But then I learned that markets will always provide opportunity if you are consistent, right? Then I missed this because it was a very obvious sell. Break, inducement, unmitigated block, and beautiful sell. So what are we looking for now in the market? So I'm going to take this out. We're looking for what? Another break. Price give another break. And what are we looking for? Continuous sale in the market. Since what? Price has changed structure on the major time frame, right? So we want to do what? We're using that directional bias to keep on what? Selling, right? So we have another breaking structure. So let's go lower. We had a break, we had a what? A pullback, right? Which is this zone. This will be like our inducement. This will serve as our inducement. Liquidity. Right? So price came, took out our liquidity, and this would have actually been a great point of interest, like a very beautiful point of interest, if price was impulsive enough to come over here. But then price swept liquidity and did what? Created a new low. Created a new low right here, right? This is basically top-down analysis for US30. So this was a what? Break of structure. This was a break of structure, right? Then after a break of structure, right? We had this move into that fair value gap, as you can see. So what's price looking for what to do? Take out this zone again. That's basically how downtrend works. Keep breaking out structure. So in anything we are doing in this zone, right? In this zone here, we want to see price in this zone. Anything we are doing in this zone, we want to see price break this zone. So what are we looking for? We're still looking for a sell, right? So let's go lower. Let's go to 30 minutes. price came into this fair value gap right here. Now, do you think price can come to this other block? This other block here. Anywhere within this zone. And likely use here as the inducement. It's very possible. Why is it possible? Because it's still in a word. So if we should take our Fibonacci tool, right? Highlight this to this. Sorry, supposed to be from up to down in a downtrend. Highlight this zone to this zone. You could see that it's in our words. A very good zone for us to take it onto the sell. But price might hardly go there. But regardless, this will be a very good point of interest for us to take a sell from. So this is where I'll be looking at to take a sell. Remember, this is still unmitigated. So anything can happen. This could be our first point of interest. This could be our second point of interest. But the reason why I'm going with this is because it's very close. And price can also be using this as our inducement. But I'm going to go with the one nearest, the point of our point of interest nearest, right? This is targeting what a break. So this trade is still very okay, right? Because it's still in discount. It's still in discount. This is what I want to see on USD. I might be right and I might be wrong. But you know, it's really what I hope to see. So price can rally as long as it doesn't break here. Or it could even break here and come back there. So this is what I expect to see. Yeah, so this is it for USD. Okay, sorry about that. Need to check something. I just found this. This is a very good analysis. I swear. This is a very, very, very good one. This stuff is very, very good. giving me an A plus settings, yeah, giving me a very thick A plus, very thick A plus. So let me invert the chart. This is looking so good. So it might get to this point and come down, or whichever it wants, but this is giving A plus vibe. So this is my first um, top-down analysis on US 30. So let's go to Nasdaq, guys. Nasdaq has been crazy, right? So let's go over to the weekly. Remember, we always start from the weekly time frame. So in weeks and in weeks and in weeks of Nasdaq being alive, it has been dinosaur. This means like there was no data. Probably the host of Nasdaq chart started around 95, yeah, about. So ever since, Nasdaq has been uptrend, downtrend, downtrend, uptrend, little downtrend, downtrend, uptrend, down. But majorly, right, it has been giving this uptrend move. So let's zoom in on the recent weeks. I missed the setup here. So let me just delete everything I've done previously on Nasdaq. Nasdaq US 100, whichever you can call it. So this has been the most recent week of Nasdaq from September to March, right? So let's go on a daily time frame now. So this has been Nasdaq. Okay. So first of all, we highlight our protected eye and the low. Let's use this low. So what we want to do is to analyze everything that is happening within this zone. Is it going to break here or is it going to break here? So if we should break here, meaning it's going to have a CH, right? A shift, a market structure shift, MSS. If we should break here, it's going to continue towards upwards trend, right? So this is basically a sell side liquidity slash market structure shift right here. If anything should happen to this zone, it's taking out what the sell side liquidity and what the market structure shift, making the whole trend to change from being bullish to being what bearish. But in order for this to shift, we expect to see price creating a new high for this to shift. So this is what we expect: a push to the upside and this. So it can complete the manipulation and it can what create a what higher high to clear up that most recent low, right? So this is what we expect to see for this shift to complete, for it to be like a very strong shift since price seems break here. Anyways, we're just going to do top-down analysis and look for good point of interest, right? So I'm going to take this out. Now let's go back to the 2-hour time frame. Hmm, 4 hours, pardon me. Then we begin to highlight recent structures from this zone, right? But first of all, what is market doing becomes the question. Remember, this zone is our change of what? Oh, okay. I think I'm seeing some things here. We had this break, right? want to call it a break of structure. And we had this low. I really don't want to conclude and say this is our change of structure yet. This is our MSS, right? Let me go back to the line chart. Okay, we had that. We had that change right here. It's very obvious. It's very obvious now. So this was where market shifted structure. But this will be a higher time frame confirmation shift. Bro, it's still higher time frame. So this will be a break of structure into market structure shift. Sorry. Okay. Why this will be a market structure shift. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to our candles. Okay. So this was an unmitigated point of interest. Price starting so. And price broke structure here. This was our inducement. Right? This was liquidity. Price took out. And tapped into that zone. Then we had mini structures here of some kind of buy. But what happened here? Price did this stuff again. Like a shift. Like it shifts a reversal into this zone. Not to waste much of our time, let's just go straight into the recent happenings of this play. So this is the most recent happenings of this play. Okay. I have a lot of unmitigated point of interest. Like a whole lot of unmitigated point of interest. I have a whole lot. So this is on the higher time frame. Now let's go lower. Wow, very tricky chart. We have equal stuff going on here. We had what? A break here. Yeah, anticipating another break here. Right. Let's go to the 1 hour. Nasdaq is getting tricky and tricky and tricky. Unmitigated point of interest here on the lower time frame. Remember, we didn't get a manipulation. Or did we? I guess we did. If you look closely, this was the little manipulation right here. Yeah. So this was the little manipulation right here. Right. Yeah. So let's go back to the candle. Most recent liquidity. Point of interest. So mark out as this is basically what I'm seeing on Nasdaq right now on the smaller time frame. On the bigger time frame, we have this unmitigated point of interest with this huge fair value gap. So institutions are likely going to push price to this zone. I don't know when, but this is what I'm seeing based on my analysis, right? So we've done two major analysis, right? So these are actually not A plus. They're just basically what market is doing recent times, right? And this is where we would like it. It's a new month, so we haven't supposed to start from monthly time frame. And this month came with a lot of bearish energy. So let's go back to the next one. AUD USD. We are not going to analyze all. We'll probably stop around somewhere here and we'll call it a day. So this is the monthly time frame. So I'm just going to delete everything I've done since 2024. Very sad. Has to go. Alright. So on the monthly time frame, okay. Let's just run from the most recent. And this shift. And this shift, and this shift, and market has been mostly consolidating. Consolidate deep, consolidate buy, consolidate deep, consolidate buy, consolidate deep. Okay, majorly in a downtrend, but price did not have a single direction like keep buying, but it has been selling since 2011. But right here, it's changing structure to buy. So let's just do our weekly, right? So this is weekly, and in the last few weeks, since 2024 December, it changed character. That's fine, right? Pardon me, I'm also keeping my eye on this US 30. Maybe we should go on the lower time frame. I'm seeing some buys volume. Yeah, I'm seeing some buy volume. Okay. So let's go straight to the daily and the 4 hours at once, so we don't waste much time. So since price has been buying, we know the trend, we want to buy, right? But now let's check if there was a sweep or a change in structure right here. So remember, start from the highs and the lows. This is the range, right? This is the range we want to make use of. So what has price been doing? A tricky one. Here we had a breakout structure. So I want you to note something. This was a breakout structure. This right here was a breakout structure, right? And this was the previous low before the break, right? And when price broke structure, this was the high. So price can still stay within all this range, everything here on the higher time frame, right? Stay within every single zone here as long as it doesn't push through this zone, right? As soon as price pushes through this zone, more makes a high, we're going to use this now as a protected low, saying okay, we don't want to see price into this zone again, but price has not made that high. So every single thing here you see within this range is valid, even though it changes structure right here. It's a mini structure, but on the higher time frame structure, it's very valid to see price in all these zones. So let's just go lower to the mini time frame, right, and do our analysis. So last time I gave this analysis here, it was a sell opportunity. If we should go lower, you can verify it's on the Telegram. This was our point of interest right here. Go and check the Telegram, it's there. This was our point of interest right there. But then we missed it here because we tagged this little push up after the shift as our what? This was considered our MSS, and this was now our what? Inducement. So this was where we highlighted. It's on the Telegram, go and check. So price came, took out the inducement, did not come to our point of interest, and sold off at the time. So when price came back here, we did not take the trade again. So that was where this whole downtrend started from, because we already analyzed price making this what, this shift and this sell, but at the time price didn't come to our entry. So but then it came back, triggered, and began to sell. So let's look for the recent happenings. So I'm just going to come here, highlight this zone, and this zone. So permit me to do this. Yeah. So I'm going to consider all these zone mitigated. Okay. This was a very sharp breaker block. So this looks very good. I'm just going to let this chart be for more price data to build up, because I'm not getting what I want, and I wouldn't want to force a setup and all that. So I'm going to go over to the next. But this could be a good scalp for a short. So monthly. Okay. Weekly. Weekly. Recent weeks. Okay. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, daily. Okay. So this was a very good demand zone. Price rallied into a very generous demand zone, right? So price rallied into that demand zone. So if we should go closer, we could see price was trading bearish, 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 right? Trading bearish too, right there. And what happened? This was where price made a shift. Made a shift in structure. Because this was the what? This was the what? Low that created this high, right? So this was where price made a shift, not just a shift, an impulsive shift to the upside. Sorry, sorry about that. So this was where price made a shift to the upside, an impulsive shift, right? And price kept on flying. So this is a very good demand zone, a very good demand zone. And this is an unmitigated what? Breaker block. Price rallied into. So if we go lower to 2 hour time frame, you could see price coming into that zone. So here we have two POI, but market is using the first one, right? Market is using the first one. So what do we do? Here we go back to 30 minutes to see what price is doing. You can see here on 30 minutes time frame, seems to have shifted structure here. Because what this was the previous low, right? This was the previous low right here too, right? And like this and like this. It was all trading was bearish, bearish, bearish. So this was where price shifted structure, made a retracement into this beautiful point of interest, and it's starting to go up. So this second one is still unmitigated, no doubt. Alright. I need to highlight this as our inducement. Permit me to do this. I just love seeing charts from a different angle. So I'm going over to the 5 minute time frame. And you see this zone is still fresh. So I could likely take a sell from this zone a buy, sorry, not a sell, to target the previous low. So this is what I hope to see. Yeah. So that's basically this is what I'm basically looking forward to. So if we go on the 1 hour time frame, It's looking very good. Looking very good. And if anything should happen to this point of interest, if it gets invalidated, then this will be where I'll be looking to put all my eggs. Because it's very solid and it has proven to have that impulsive move on the what higher time frame. So let's go to the next AUD card. So remember monthly. Okay, monthly has been okay. Seems it's in a retest mode to explode or something. See, that was one of the most beautiful thing about technical analysis. It shows you where price is heading to, right? It shows you where price is heading to. This has been like clean touches on this trend line. And right here it broke, now retesting and wants to explode. So let's go back to the weekly. Look at that, very beautiful. Tapping over this zone, very clean, very clean. Now digging. This is beautiful. Okay. Come on now. So just what anticipated price. I just saw something. I just saw something. So let's go back to our spending. So I saw this price on this yeah, I'm on the 4 time frame. I'm seeing what this beautiful breaker block. This line. You can see it right. The fair value gap and a beautiful what breaker block. So that's where price is rushing into and moving upwards. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So what do we expect to see? We expect to see an impulsive buy. Damn, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. At this point, I might start saying rubbish. So it's better I just turn this off here. So thank you guys for staying tuned to this. I'll keep you updated and I'll also drop more and more and more um yeah and more setups on my Telegram. So just ensure you join. Thanks and cheers.